Hello folks, Jose with Sailing Vessel Reverie. Wanted to share with you a little bit of important information I came across as I was dealing with a shore power issue on Reverie. Now, most of us own boats from 27 to 42 feet, which means that we're all using shore power to power the air conditioner on the boat, to power some of the electric systems, the battery chargers, and so on. Now, that twisty type connector that we have on our shore power cord is a major cause of marine fires. Boat US reported that 55% of boat fires are caused by shore power failure. Either that or overloaded circuits, which is all related. So this has caused hundreds of millions of dollars of losses on the industry. So I felt it was important to share that with you, because a lot of us, me included, until I had this problem, took that for granted. So I'm going to show you in this episode how I dealt with it and how I took care of that risk for Reverie and fixed my shore power problem. If you like our channel, please subscribe. Click the button below so you get the alerts. And with that, let's get started with our episode. Hey gang, Jose with Sailing Vessel Reverie. This past weekend, Kuzi and I went out for a sail, and as we were trying to take the shore power cord off the inlet on the boat, we were having a really hard time, which is usually not a good sign. So when we started doing I guess finagling it, we finally were able to pull it out, and what we found is a very melted spot on the cord. And usually that can be because of poor contact. That can be because we had a lot of lightning storms, and I don't know if we had some kind of a surge on the boat, but everything else seems to be working. So I'm going to replace it with a SmartPlug, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about this. So one of the things that doing some research I found out is that about 50% of boat fires happen because of shore power cords. Now, this is a eel shore power cord. This is made by Marinco, and it actually works pretty well. The only challenge with it is if for some reason you don't turn it, or with the movement of the boat, this kind of comes where it's not making good contact, is going to create a hot spot. And that hot spot, we have a lot of plastic parts inside a lot of this cord, so it's going to melt the plastic like it did there. So, see, you can see it. The other challenge with this cord is there is no replacement for the eel head. Basically, this you squeeze it to slide it into the inlet on the boat, and then you slide this lock that's supposed to keep it in place. Problem is, there is no replacement for it, so you either have to buy a new cord, or you have to cut this end off and put basically a standard setup like you have pretty much in every shore power cord that's out there. So what I decided to do is do a little bit of an upgrade. In my research, I found the SmartPlug, and the SmartPlug is actually provides several safety features. One is it has a lot more surface contact. So I'll take this out of the package and I'll walk you through some of the safety features. So some nice features of this setup is that you get everything you need to do the replacement and assemble and do the upgrade. When you squeeze the clips on the side, you can pull out the plug. Okay, and this is the way that we're going to slide the rubber seal for the cable. We're going to go straight through the insert and out the other end. Don't we get it to lock in place. All right, so that's kind of what it looks like. So you check it on the inside, make sure it's nice and sealed. The kit has for the component that goes on the cable, you have a 3M rubber seal, which we're going to take out. and it has 3M backing tape. There's 3 screws that attach the actual plug into the case. One nice feature, safety feature, is that this only fits one way, and you can only plug it in one way. So there's no plug and twist, no trying to find where the ground is, none of that hassle. Yeah, everything is locked in with set screws, which they provide the set screw tool in a little baggie. On the insert side, this is the side that goes into the boat. There's a lot of nice features into this. One, you have a gasket, also with 3M backing tape, that goes in to slide. SmartPlug. One of the things they claim is that it's a replacement, so hopefully the holes will match and you don't have to do any drilling. You basically take the old one out, reconnect the wires to the insert, and slide it right in place. Another safety feature is that this insert has a thermostat built in. So if for some reason the temperature, because of the wiring is creating heat, if it gets to like 200 degrees, it's going to shut it off. Basically, it's going to cut power. It's not going to let power go through into the boat until the temperature drops back down to 120 degrees. So that's a very, very nice feature which prevents fires, because at 200 degrees, that's when the plastic starts melting and you can have a fire on the boat. This here is a tension relief. So we're going to take this screw out, remove this cap, we'll attach our wires, and then we'll put this back on and we'll bring the wires down. So what it does is it won't let the wires get pulled out of the insert for any reason. Another safety feature is that when you slide the case in, you notice there's a big lip here. It's going to create a seal, because you're going to have this gasket coming in there, and then when you slide your cable, it creates a waterproof seal. The other thing it prevents is it prevents the cable from moving around on the regular setup. On this setups, whenever the boat moves, it's going to move the outlet, and that can cause it to get untwisted depending on your style of end, and that can cause a poor connection, and it will create resistance and then make things get hotter. So the other thing is that you have a lot more metal to make contact. So on this setup, let me find the other end so I can kind of show you. So on this setup, if you notice, there's little holes on each one of these little legs on the plug. So when you plug this in and you twist, the little hole is where the contact is been made. So that's the most contact you're going to get. With this, you're going to have about 20% more contact on metal, which is going to remove resistance. But this is the reason why a lot of times you get to a pedestal at a marina and something is burned up, is because when they plugged it in, they didn't turn it. So they have good contact, or with the movement of the boat and the ties, things became disconnected or loose, creating a kind of a loose connection and possibly creating a fire. So that's why this is a smart plug. Once you plug this in, I forgot to show one more thing, and you bring the lid down, the lid catches right there on this portion of the cable connection, which gives it an even stronger locking mechanism. So you have a clip and you have a pin, so that cable is not going to come out. All right, so enough chit-chatting. Let's get working. So the instructions, I kind of like them, because if you're not the reading type, there's plenty of pictures. So you can do this just going by the pictures, or reading the instructions, whichever way you prefer. So we're going to need a little bit of soapy water, pair of snips to cut the cable, some wire strippers, pair of scissors in case there's any insulation that we have to cut, some rags, tape measure, and it's really important because they're very precise on how much cable you have to strip, so everything lines up properly inside the plug, so the wire goes completely inside of the insert, and when you clamp the wire to keep, to add additional protection, you want to be over the insulation. So they make a point of in instructions that you really want to measure and be precise on your cutting. And a screwdriver. So I'm going to start with the cable, and then I'll get to the base. So let me get this thing here. Alright. Okay. First cut, they said measure 1 3/4 inches back from freshly cut cord end. So 1 3/4. There you go. Now we can use our scissors to cut, all this protection, so we have a nice clean. All right. So now we have our 3 cables on AC. Remember you have black, you have hot, neutral, and ground. So your black is your hot, your white is your neutral, your green is your ground. Next cut. It says cut 3/4 of an inch from the wire jacket. All right. Okay. There we go. Now the fun begins. Now we're going to use our tool to slide through here. I'm going to use a little bit of soapy water. Soapy water on this, only on the outside. Need to push this about 8 inches in. So let's see. Soapy water. There we go. All right. Okay. All right. Soapy water does the trick all the time. All right, next thing is we're going to do the connection. Take our Allen wrench out. Okay, I'm gonna do them one at a time because it's kind of pulling the copper whenever I slide it. Make sure it's nice and tight. Alright, let's see. Okay, much better. So that's the end product. So everything is locked in place. One thing they say is that rubber has to be inside of that insert, so there shouldn't be any copper sticking outside or any metal outside of the plug itself. So we got that done. They said not to over tighten it, so I'm trying to be gentle. Have a bad habit of over tightening things myself, so we don't strip. Okay, next thing is now we need to slide this back, so a bit more generous. There we go. It hit the soap. All right. So we're getting here to the spot. We line it up, make sure that it's going to go. It only fits one way. And one more push. One more pull. And it's all the way in. So now we're going to put in the 3 screws. Okay, so that's you can see there's 3 screws now in place. Now I'm going to take the gasket with the 3M backing and I'm going to slide it in place. And just use anything you have handy to push it in place so it sits properly. This. Looks good. All right. So that's 100% done. We have our cable ready to go. Now we're going to the back side and see if we're as lucky. So gotta remove the strain relief. And we take that out. And we make sure that all the everything is open, all the Allen screws. So now we're ready to take the backing plate and see what we got. Okay, so like everything in life, they misdrill the holes. So I took the screws out, but some of the screws don't have any grab whatsoever. it's not going to work out straight out. The hole is way too big. The screws they use are also not the right screws, were way too big. So I'm going to have to, you know, drill new holes. But in order to do that, if I slide to one side or the other, I end up with a gap. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to put a piece of wood behind here and kind of glass it in and fill in kind of a section about that wide, maybe a finger or two wide, just big enough so I have solid material to re-drill and you know, have this mounted properly. So I need to get the fiberglass out, get things cleaned up, and get this done before I can mount the insert for the boat. Okay, so I got some epoxy filler. What I did is I cut a couple of small pieces of wood, cover them in resin, and then I mixed a batch with a filler and used that to glue that little board behind it. And it's nothing structural. The board is there just to give me a backing so I can fill in with fiberglass, you know, with a filler. And that's what's going to provide the structure, and that allow me also to fill the holes so I can drill new holes as soon as that dries, and I can go ahead and finish installing the electric inlet. So right now, just gonna let it dry and go work on some other project on the boat while that gets done. So like everything on boats, nothing works quite as smoothly as you want it. So I have to crawl under the locker and pull some slack for the wire because it fell through inside the hole while I was trying to get everything set up. And honestly, I needed the wire to go back inside because I needed to put some fiberglass in there to create a backing surface so then I can mount the inlet. So while that's drying, I'm gonna clear up the top of the locker so I can go get the wire and get that ready for later. Okay, so I let the epoxy dry till it was hard. I sanded it. Then I used a gasket as a template to re-drill the holes, and took the backing off and glued it in. I've attached the wires back into the inlet. So all I got left to do is put in the stress relief and mount it back in and screw it, and we should be in great shape. So let's see how that looks. There we go. The stress plate, slide in and put our screws on. Gonna have to put the camera down to do this. All done. Let's plug it in and see if it works. There we go. Now we clip on both sides. Okay, we got shore power. Flip it on. Outlets on. Air conditioner on. There we go. Alright. Alright gang, that's it for this episode. We got our smart plug connected. We did the repair of the shore power cord, repair of the shore power inlet, and put our new smart plug, which is, remember, it's going to give us protection from overheating, and also it'll prevent any mistakes when you're trying to plug the wire in to the boat. Has more metal surface contact, so it's going to be less resistance, which makes it all around great solution for Reverie. So if you have any questions, please post those in the comments below. I'm happy to answer any questions anybody posts on the blogs. And if you like this episode, please subscribe to the channel. We keep sharing a refit, the good, bad, and the ugly of what we're doing. But we appreciate you guys watching, and thank you so much. See you in the next episode.